Good morning, happy Friday, or whatever day you happen to watch this or listen to this. This morning, Fridays are for book club, so I'm going to talk about a book that I am finishing up today, and the book is entitled Atomic Habits. This book is so good. I'm going to have to refer back to this book often. It is so good and it's so helpful. So I'm going to try to cover chapter, with a summary, the takeaways from chapter 13 through chapter 20. And that is it for this book. So in chapter 13, how to stop procrastinating by using the 2-minute rule. So in this chapter, the takeaways are, here we go. A habit might only take a few seconds to complete, but it can have a lasting effect on your day. Certain habitual choices can be defined as decisive moments. They determine whether your subsequent behavior will be productive or unproductive. The 2-minute rule is a strategy that downsizes your habit to an action that only takes up to 2 minutes to complete. The idea behind this is to make the beginning of your habit an action that is as easy, manageable, and sustainable as possible. Once ingrained, these first 2 minutes can then act as a ritual of getting into a zone of productive working. Habit shaping is when you build your habit up in stages, mastering each stage before you move on. So that is summary from chapter 13. That is takeaways in chapter 13. Chapter 14, how to make good habits inevitable and bad habits impossible. Okay, here are the takeaways. A commitment device is a way for your present self to ensure that your future self abides by good behavior. Okay, and even more effective technique is to automate your behavior. This can be achieved through one-time actions, which are simple one-off decisions that will continue to deliver results in the future. If used properly, the surest way to automate your behavior by using technology. When you invert the third law of behavior change, you get it. Make it difficult. So when he's talking about the commitment device, like say on your phone, you download an app that cuts your phone off at a certain time. That way you will not get on it and stroll social media. You'll put it up, you'll put it away. Or say you have a tendency of watching TV all night, take the TV out of the room. So there's things like that. Like you kind of really have to prevent yourself from doing these things, okay? That's some examples. Okay, for chapter 15, make it satisfying. The takeaways. Good habits require effort in the present but pay off in the future. Bad habits feel good in the present but cost you in the future. The best way to motivate ourselves is to repeat a good habit is to make it satisfying. Okay, the best way to motivate ourselves is to repeat a good habit is to make it satisfying. Our brains function on an immediate return basis. As a result, they usually opt for instant satisfaction over delayed gratification, regardless of the consequences. Okay, if you want a habit to be repeated, you must immediately reward it. If you want a habit to be avoided, you must immediately punish it. This is clear cardinal rule of behavior change. Okay, make sure these immediate rewards don't clash with your desired identity. This is important, and This is important because it will be your identity that eventually sustains the habit. The fourth law of behavior change is to make it satisfying. Okay, now chapter 16, how to stick with good habits every day. The takeaways: keeping a visual track of your habit is hugely satisfying. Because you get to watch your progress accumulate. This motivates you to continue. A habit tracker is a simple but effective way to keep track of your habits progress. Clear mantras for sticking to your habits is never miss twice. It's okay to slip up once, as long as you bounce back as quickly as possible. It is very important not to break the chain. Bad days are better than no-shows. Okay? Bad days are better than no-shows. When it comes to habit tracking, be careful not to measure the wrong parameters. Numbers are not the only way to monitor your progress. And he said something, I remember in this chapter, he said something about If you do it, the first time is an accident. The second time is a habit. The first time is an accident. The second time is a habit. Chapter 17, how an accountability partner can change everything. Shout out to my accountability partners because they hold me accountable to what I say I'm going to do. Pain is a powerful motivator. When the cost of bad habits are felt immediately, we are much less likely to repeat the habit. A habit contract is a verbal written contract you make with yourself and one or two others. You state the actions you intend to do and the punishment you face if you fail to stick to them. All parties sign. An accountability partner is an effective way to face the consequences of your actions immediately. We are motivated to act with people. We are motivated to act when people watch us because we care about our reputation and upholding our promises to other people. So important and so true. When you invert the fourth law of behavior change, you make it unsatisfying. Okay. So let's see. Chapter 18, the truth about talent. When genes matter and when they don't. So genes, like bit my how you bite your tooth? I don't know. But anyway, moving on. The takeaways for chapter 18. The key to success is to choose habits that naturally align your skills and your abilities. Our genes do not determine our success. So your genes is like your history, your background, your lineage, where you come from. Okay, so what else? My battery's getting low. That's why it froze for a second. So if you saw a delay, I do apologize. Our genes do not determine our success. They simply give us an advantage in some situations and disadvantages in others. Choose an environment that plays to your strengths. Aligning your behavior with your personality will help you build a habit that sticks. Use clear strategy, exploring and exploiting to discover what comes easiest to you. If you're currently flowing and winning, you have to exploit it. If you are still struggling, you have to continue to explore. You can't find an environment that favors your natural abilities. Design your own. If you can't find an environment that favors your natural abilities, design your own. Playing to you our genetic predispositions does not mean doing less work. It merely clarifies where our time and our energy will be best spent. Okay. Chapter 19, the Goldilocks rule, how to stay motivated in life and work. The key takeaways. The Goldilocks rule states that to sustain motivation, we must work on tasks that are not too easy and not too hard. Ideally, just below the limit of our current abilities. To stick to a habit, give yourself enough of a challenge to keep things interesting, but make sure you also making gains and feeling rewarded. Boredom is the true enemy of progress. Unfortunately, boredom is inevitable once a habit becomes routine. So you're going to get bored, but keep going. Learning how to work through the boredom and put the reps in, no matter what their mood is what separates the professionals from the amateurs. And chapter 20, we're wrapping up here. The downside of creating good habits. Okay. Takeaways. Once a habit becomes automatic, we cease to think about it consciously. The downside of this, we risk repeating the same mistakes and stalling our progress. A clear formula for excelling in a habit is habits plus deliberate practice equals mastery. Say it again. Habits plus deliberate practice equals mastery. Mastery unlocks the next stage of performance. Okay. Reflection and review is a clear system for maintaining a regular awareness of your performance. It allows you to keep your habit on track and ensure they align with your desired identity. Investing in one single version of yourself will hold you back from your true growth. Keep your identity adaptable while maintaining a set of core values. And that is it. That is it. It was such a good read, and it helps you create better habits because your habits produce the outcome that you want. So if you look at your life right now, you can determine that where I am right now is a result of my habits, right? So if you do not have a desired outcome that you want right now, you have to create new habits. All right. So this book is an amazing book to help you get out of the rut. All right. I like to call it the rut. You just stuck. And it's called Atomic Habits by James Clear. And what I was reading to you was out of the workbook. So I like the workbook because the workbook gives us tools and homework to do, right? Because you can get all this information, but if you do nothing with it, then why even bother reading it, right? So if you're going to get the book, you must be able to do the work. If you want to see differently, you got to do differently. It all starts with us. So information without implementation is a devastation. We got to do the work. It all starts with us. That's all I have. Have an amazing day on purpose.